Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode number 22 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and where I get into all sorts of other crafty shenanigans. I'm happy to have you here with me today. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for checking me out. I hope you have fun here. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back to watch me for another video. I'm really happy to have everyone here today. Today is Friday, July the 3rd, 2020, and we're just finishing off 1st of July for Canada Day. As I've mentioned in earlier videos, I am a Canadian and I'm living and working in the US right now. So I celebrate both Canada Day and the 4th of July. So we've just come past Canada Day. I'm just wearing my little necklace that my husband got me a couple years ago, or a year or two ago. I can't remember exactly when. And so we've just finished celebrating Canada Day and we're heading into celebrating the 4th of July tomorrow. Celebrations have already started. There's the restaurant across the street from us, and over the lunch hour, which is about 12:30 right now, they are having some live music playing there for people to sit out on the outdoor patio and enjoy the music. So if you're hearing music in the background, that's coming from outside. So that's... I gotta work on my transitions, people. I don't know how to wind up my introduction. Oh, man. So sit back, enjoy, grab yourself a beverage. I just have a regular cup of just plain old black tea. Nothing fancy, nothing special in my teacup today. Just plain ordinary old tea. So let's start talking about what I've been working on in the last week. I've had over the last 2 weeks, or the last 2 episodes, each time I had a finished object to show you. I told you that was going to be finishing off. I don't have any finished objects to show you this week, but I have made progress on 3 different works in progress. So without further ado, let's go take a look at what I've been working on in the last week. So the first thing I've been working on is my mitered square blanket. And I'll say I made some progress, but that's it. I've added 2 little squares to my mitered square blanket. The yarns are both Knit Picks palette, and like I said, in one of the other videos, I'm working my way through all of my bits and bobs of Knit Picks palettes. So that's going to be the majority of the squares I'll be adding on there in the near future are going to be Knit Picks palette. But I have added 2 more squares. Now I'm down to, I think I need to knit another 108 more squares. So I'll put a link down here somewhere to the pattern that I'm following for this. I don't remember, I didn't write it down, but I will link that down below for you. My second work in progress is I've been working on the Stillness Shawl Mystery Knit Along. It's a pattern by Helen Stewart of The Curious Handmade, and I will put up a notice, since it is a mystery knit along, I will put notices on here when I'm ready to actually show you what I've been working on. I'll put a little spoiler alert notice on here, and I'll let you know when I'll give you a timestamp when I'll put it down here, up here someplace. Anyway, I'll put a note someplace when I'm about to show the knitting. I will mark down when it's going to be safe for you to look back again, in case you are working on it right now, or you haven't started, or you haven't got up to the point where I am yet. I'll make a note of that so that if you want to keep it a surprise, you'll be able to keep it a surprise. So clue number 1 came out last Thursday. I finished up clue number 1 last weekend sometime. I think I finished it up Saturday or Sunday, one or the other. I finished it up last weekend. And so then I had to wait until yesterday, on Thursday, the 2nd of July, for the second clue to come out. And I've got a little bit of a start on it. I think I've done 6 rows on clue number 2. So I still got quite a ways to go on clue number 2. So I'm hoping for next week I'll be able to show you all of clue number 2, and hopefully I'll have a start on clue number 3, and hopefully I'll get to finish that up this weekend, and I'll be able to get going and do a little bit more work on my third work in progress as well. We'll see how my progress goes. Next week I do have 2 or 3 hours every day but Monday in different Zoom conference meetings, so I will have a fair bit of knitting time, so I should be able to get a fair bit of progress done. We'll see what I actually do manage to get done. So the yarn I'm using, sorry, I just have to reach over for my yarn. The yarn I'm using for my Stillness shawl, the Mystery Knit Along, is yarn that I've knit myself. It's fingering weight, and these are the three colors that I've created for this. So there's a nice kind of like a steel gray. I really like this color. I sort of kept notes when I created this color, and I want to try to replicate this because I would love to make an entire sweater with just this gray color. I love this gray color. And then the other 2 colors they're all tonals. Well, the gray is a pretty solid color. The 2 purples are a little bit tonal with a tiny bit of speckles on them, but there's like a darker purple, and it's got some kind of grayish black highlights in it, and then a light purple with kind of bluey purple highlights and a few tiny little speckles in the light gray, or the light purple, I should say. So those are the colors of yarn I'm using. So again, it's fingering weight yarn. It's yarn that I dyed myself. Again, I really do want to try to replicate this. This is not purple. Gray is not purple. I keep calling it purple, but I really would love to replicate the gray color. So let's show you some progress. So I'm going to show the knitting right now. So if you have not got this far on your shawl yet, or you want to have it remain a secret or continue to have it a mystery, stop watching, because I'm going to be showing the knitting right now. So, and I will put a timestamp over here someplace to let you know what the timestamp is when it's safe to look back again. So here is my progress now. Where this marker is here, that is where I was last week. So since last Thursday, I finished clue number 1, which is all the purple from the marker up to here. And then clue number 2 begins with a lace pattern with mine in the gray color. It will do about, I think, 3 repeats. I think I finished row 6 out of an 8-row repeat. So it's going to continue in this. I'm not sure if you can even see the lace pattern too clearly, but it'll continue. It'll do this 8-row repeat 3 times, and then it switches back to this design for several rows again. So there we have. So again, here's the lace pattern in the gray. So we'll have a little band of the gray, and then it'll go back into the other two contrasting colors. So that's my progress on there. Like I said, first week I showed you was from here to the stitch marker, and in the past week I finished clue 1, which is from the stitch marker here up to where we switch from purple to gray, and then gray is where we begin with clue number 2. So hopefully by next week I will have clue number 2 all finished, and I'll have a little bit of a start on clue number 3. So if you were watching, you're safe to look back again now. I've put the shawl aside. I've got to sneeze. Sorry. And my other work in progress is a new project that I started this past week. So when I finished clue number 1, I added, sorry, motorcycles. After I finished clue number 1 on the mystery shawl last week, I added a couple squares to my scrap gown, and then the needles that I didn't tell you. Sorry, for the stillness shawl, I'm using 4mm needles or US size 6, and they are from a set of, what's the word they use for that? Interchangeable. Oh my gosh. They are my Knitter's Pride interchangeable set. So it's for the mystery shawl is 4mm or US 6. So while I was waiting, before I was ready to cast on my newest work in progress, I had to wait for needles. I had ordered a set of, it was one of the few sizes of knitting needles I didn't already own in circulars. So I had to order, they were 3.25mm or US 3. So I put in an order for those, and they arrived last week. I forget what day. I'm gonna have to do some editing on this video. Good Lord. Anyway, so after I'd added a couple squares to my scrap blanket and I'd finished clue number 1, I decided I wanted to cast on the Tenya sweater. So that's a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. I think everybody and their dog except for me has knit this sweater already. Like I say, I'm rarely on the cusp of new trends. I'm usually tagging along way behind everybody else. Oh well, I don't care. So for this sweater, this is the Tenya sweater by Caitlin Hunter. I am using Quince & Co. Turn. I said the wrong kind last week when I was talking about the work in mind that I had. So this is what I have left in my first little cake. They're 50-gram hanks of yarn, so I'm going to have to start caking up a couple more. So last week, after I had completed the second clue, I did a little test swatch, and with the recommended needle sizes, I did get gauge, so both stitch gauge and row gauge. So I was happy for that because I'd ordered this specific set of knitting needles to use for that, so I think I probably would have been a little bit miffed if I had ordered the knitting needles and found out that I had ordered a size that I didn't need for it. So anyway, this is the yarn I'm using. It's Quince & Co. Turn in the color Terracotta. And I've made half decent progress. I have a boatload of stitch markers in here. I marked every I initially marked every 20 stitches. Yeah, I'd marked every 20, and so I have not a ton of progress, but got a nice little bit of progress here. Turn this guy over. I'll be excited when this starts to decrease the stitch number in a little bit once I'm done with the lace portion. But I've done the first little bit of the lace portion here, and now I'm in the second half of the first repeat on the lace. And since I'm knitting one of the larger sizes, it's a lot of knitting. Going all the way around, one time around, it's a long way around. But I am knitting one of the larger sizes so I can wear it for myself. So here's where I'm at so far. I just put this little guy, this extra stitch marker here, so that I could mark where I left off. So I have a, oh my gosh, this is going to be the awkwardest video ever. So I've added this little extra stitch marker here so that I can just have a point to show you next week what my progress is from today forward. I just figured, I was thinking about it earlier when I was getting things ready to get my podcast started for today, and I thought, I'm thinking about it right now. I better stick this on here, because otherwise by the time I got back to working on this and started knitting, I'd probably be who knows how many rounds before I realized I had forgot to add that. So that's my progress on my Tenya sweater. Little bit done, long way to go, but it's a knit that I'm really enjoying. I'm enjoying the lace part of it, and I'm really excited to finish up the lace section and get on to just doing the straight stocking it round and round and round and round. So that's it for my works in progress. I have talked about my works in mind in previous episodes. I have the Demiekalopa pattern is next on my radar. I placed an order for the yarn, and that is on the way. The last I was able to find with the tracking number is that it has arrived in the US. Who knows how long it sits in customs before it will continue on its way to me. We'll see. It'll get here one of these days. So the next thing I want to talk about for a few minutes is some stash enhancement. And so I have had a few skeins of yarn have come in the past week. So let's take a couple minutes and we'll take a look at those. The first thing that I ordered and that arrived was this. Knit Picks Felici fingering. It was on sale. I ordered 4 skeins of yarn. I ordered 2 skeins in test pattern, so that's this one. The colorway is called Test Pattern. And I'd also ordered 2 skeins of the colorway Side Pony, and those are on back order. When I placed the order, it said that it was there, and so I placed the order for these 2 plus 2 skeins of Side Pony. These 2 arrived earlier this week, and there was a note on there that Side Pony was on back order. So I have no idea when that will arrive. I thought if it was marked as being available for sale, I could put it in the cart. I wouldn't have thought it would end up on back order. So I really have no idea what happened there. So I've got these 2 guys. So I'm excited to get started on, sooner or later, casting these on to make, I'm 99% sure these will grow up to be a pair of socks. So There's these guys that came in. And then you might have noticed a video on my channel a few days ago with an unboxing from my Knit Crate sock crate order that came in. So I've signed up several months ago with Knit Crate, and I've signed up for the sock crate because I'm interested in the sock weight yarn, not the heavier weight yarns. And this is the second one that has come in. I'm holding up 3 fingers. I'll explain that in just a second. I got the April box came. I opted out of May because that was the one for May was a skein. You got a skein of bare yarn and Kool-Aid and lessons on how to dye the yarn with Kool-Aid. So I wasn't interested. I've done some of these skeins here, and some of the ones here are actually bare yarn that I've already dyed with Kool-Aid, some with food coloring, some with acid dyes. So I've done a fair bit of experimenting with dyeing yarns. So I thought I don't want to pay that amount to get a skein of bare yarn and a couple packets of Kool-Aid. So no offense to Knit Crate and the idea, because I think it was a really cool idea for people who've never tried dyeing yarn, but it was just something I thought, like, I really don't want to bother spend. I have bare yarn at home already. I don't need to pay more for a skein of bare yarn and lessons on how to use Kool-Aid to do it. So I got the April kit or April crate. I opted out of May, and then I bought the June crate. So I've had a subscription for 3 months, but I opted out of one of those 3. So I got the package for June just arrived a few days ago. There were some delays in shipping. There's just a lot of delays with it this month just because of everything going on in the world right now with the pandemic. So it was a lot later coming out than it normally is, so that's why I'm only showing you this the beginning of July. I'm showing you the June crate stuff. So if you've ordered the Knit Crate sock crate and you don't want to see what the sock crate yarn could potentially look like, again, you can head on out. I'll put another little timestamp when it's safe to look again. So this is the yarn. It is Vitalana Ambient Sock, and the colorway is Jungle Walk. It's 80% Peruvian Highland wool, 20% nylon, fingering weight, and it's 400 yards. It's a really pretty yarn. I really like these colors. So I do have a video of the unboxing of this on my channel. So if you just go back, it'll be just the video one before this one. And I'll also put a little, if I figure out how to do it, I'll put a little iCard up here with a link to it. And I'll try to remember to link it down in the description box. So this is the Knit Crate sock yarn for the month of June. So it's pretty. I really like the colors. I'm looking forward to making a pair of socks. Again, I will make a pair of socks with these. It's really nice. It's a nice, thick, hearty feeling yarn. I like it. I really do like it. So I'm excited to get started with working on that. And that's basically my content for this week. I've got no finished objects, and I don't expect to have a finished object. I won't have one probably for several weeks yet. The 3 projects I'm working on are all quite a bit bigger. The mystery shawl, the last clue doesn't come out till the end of July, so that will not even be a finish in July. That'll probably be a finish in early August. My Tenya sweater, who knows? that might be finished fairly quickly. It might take me forever to finish it. We shall see. And my scrap can, I cast that on in 2014. So clearly it's a long-term project, but I do really want to get that finished. I'd love to be able to use it as a wrap to keep warm in the winter time, this winter coming up. So I really don't want it to drag on too long. So, and what's going on around here with me? Not a whole lot. It's been really quiet. I will admit I've been happy that this past week I have not had, I've had one Zoom meeting to sit through, so it was a couple hours. That was the only one this week, and I was so thankful to have a week off from Zoom meetings. To be honest, I'm so done with Zoom meetings. The only advantage of them is that I can knit while I'm sitting through them. That's the only good thing about them. I'm stuck in front of the computer for 2 to 4 hours a day with these meetings, and at least I can knit. Right now it's about the only good thing I can see with them, because I'm about done with Zoom meetings. And the next 2 weeks I have quite a few. I was just chatting with my mom on the phone last night, and I was looking at my calendar, and Monday is okay. I have 0 Zoom meetings on Monday, but I have two meetings on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, and on Friday. So 4 days next week I have, actually on Tuesday or Thursday, I have to double check. I think it's on Thursday. I actually have 3 meetings on Thursday. So I've got Zoom meetings coming out my ears. The following week I also have, I think I only have 3 days that week with Zoom meetings. And then I think that the next 2 weeks, it'll really taper off after that. I hope. Oh goodness, I hope. Like I said, I'm tired of Zoom meetings. I've had enough of them. So that's about all that's been new around here. The husband and I have been kind of staying home, staying put, not really getting out, doing much of anything. The numbers around here have been increasing again with the pandemic, so I'm not too excited about getting out and doing much often. So I'm perfectly happy to stay home as much as I can. I am able to thankfully work from home, so that's good. So I think that's enough. I'm just kind of rambling now. So I think I will call it a day, get back to working on my mystery shawl, get some knitting done, get the editing done on this video, and get it up onto YouTube later on today. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have not yet, I would love it if you would subscribe to my little itty bitty channel. Would really appreciate that. It means the world to me when I see the numbers ever so slowly increasing just a teeny bit. It makes my day to see new subscribers joining my channel. So I think that's about it. Hopefully one of these days I'll get a little less awkward at doing these videos. But for now, you get awkward Karen. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching, and take care, and I will see you guys again in the next video. Bye now.